This episode has been brought to you by DiceyGoblin.com, online board game retailer, where every board game is an award-winning board game. Hey everyone, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. I am very excited to finally bring you the unboxing of Mage Knight. This is a game that I've thought about getting involved with for a long time. However, I knew how complex this game was supposedly going to be, and I kind of put it off till I felt like it was something that I was really ready to tackle. So with that being said, let's get right in the box. There's a lot of stuff in this box. It's going to take a little minute, so let's go and get right into it. Okay, here it is. Mage Knight, the board game. Let's take a look at it here. We've got 1 to 4 hours, ages 14 plus, 1 to 4 players. Components, 240 cards. I'm not going to go through all that. 196 tokens, 20 map tiles, 2 game mats, 8 miniatures, and 54 mana crystals, 7 mana dice, and 2 rule books. All right, then down here, components subject to change. I would hope that this would change as well, but I don't know. All right, let's get into the game. All right, you can see the box art here. I like this a lot. You got the 4 different Mage Knights that you're able to be right there on the box cover. Let's open this up. All right, got a Ziploc bag here. And here we've got the fame track, which you'll be leveling up on as you play the game. And here's your reputation track. Excuse me. Here's your reputation track that as you do different things, you'll either, obviously become more liked by the locals or less liked. As far as the board itself, this cardboard feels pretty sturdy. I mean, this is not something that's going to get a lot of wear and tear anyway, so the quality of board feels like it'll stand up without much of a problem. Here are your 2 rule books. Now, I've read through the digital versions of these. I got to say, the game walkthrough is, in my opinion, the game walkthrough is pretty fantastic. It really does a great job of first introducing what you need to know to play through the first couple of tiles of this walkthrough tutorial. And then after that, it has the tiles set up so that as you draw them, it can explain what's on each one. Each tile that you draw has something new on it for you to learn. So it actually, the built-in tutorial there for that walkthrough scenario is really very useful. The tricky part, is in this rule book. It's much more of a technical, here are the rules. You can see how tiny that print is, how much there is. And this is much more of a dense read than the walkthrough is. However, like I said, most of the rules are explained in the walkthrough. There are some more rules in here that are not, and you're going to have to learn those as well. Some more nuanced rules and more technical rules in there. However, my plan is to make a full rules video for this game, so hopefully that will help anybody who's trying to get into it. Here you've got the day and night board, obviously day side, night side. These are the different terrain types in the game and how much movement costs to get through them. And there you go, same thing on this side, except for forest and desert are different day or night. All right, here we've got the White City. Now this is from Wizkids, and they have their hero clicks thing, so you can see different depending on the level of the city. You change in different monsters. These are representing different color tokens for the monster tokens as far as what you're going to fight in that particular city. You have the white city, the blue city, the red, and the green. And you can see really these are pretty much the same, if not exactly the same, just different colors. So now I will say the monsters that you have to fight will be different. So let's take a look at, say, a level 8 red, white, purple, brown versus a level 8 blue. 2 whites and 2 purples, it looks like. So moving on, we've got our Mage Knights. Here is, I'm not actually sure their names, but here's one of them. You can see the paint job is, it's not the most fantastic paint job, but it certainly does work pretty well. And as far as the quality of the miniature, the plastic feels pretty sturdy. You can see, I mean, you're going to get, a bendy sword, that's not going to be a huge problem. And they come in the shape they're supposed to be in. It's not looking like, I know with Spectrops, for instance, some of those miniatures ended up being pretty bent out of shape when I initially pulled them out of the box. All right. I will say the miniatures are fairly lightweight, but also do feel sturdy. So that's interesting. And the final Mage Knight that comes with the game. All right. Moving on over here. All right, here we've got the dice. Now these dice are a bit smaller than I thought from watching other videos and stuff. I'd say these are somewhere between your standard size die and the Dead of Winter action dice. You see you have different types of mana on there, all that stuff. All right. Now these are the player crests for the different Mage Knights. You see a whole bag full of them for each of the 4 different ones, and you'll use those to keep track of your fame and to keep track of your reputation and to claim different areas after you've conquered them, that sort of thing. I am noticing it doesn't look like there's anything in here to punch out. I mean, this is all pre-punched and bagged for you. That's kind of nice. I don't know if that's standard for Wizkids. This is my first Wizkids published game that I have, so here are mana crystals, and these are made out of plastic. They feel fairly sturdy, feel like they would really hurt if you stepped on one of these. Worse than a Lego, probably, for those of you that have kids that are into Legos, or adults that are into Legos. I'm not going to judge. All right, so I have all your different color mana in there. Hope I don't. Okay. Now this, and something else I like about this packaging is very functional. And again, I don't know if this is standard for Wizkids, but it is certainly far better than a lot of the packaging that you'll see in board games today. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right, let's see what we got here. This is your, as you level up, your armor and the number of cards, the base number of cards you can have in your hand limit. So this is for levels 5 and 6. And then you'll have, different ones for the different Mage Knights. So that's what these are. Here we go. We've got, looks like some monsters. Yep. All kinds of different things in here. These tokens, like all the rest of them, are pretty similar thickness and feel like they will hold up just fine to the type of play that's going to be going on in this game. You know, I don't see, and the best part is since you're not punching them out, you see there's no tear along the sides at all. You always, when you punch these pieces out, normally you always end up having those little pieces kind of hanging off, and that's not here in this case, which I like quite a bit. And of course, none of them are torn, from what I can tell. These are just more monster tokens. All right. These right here are going to be tokens for, I believe they're called ruins maybe, or something like that. And then what else we have? Some more tokens over here, which I believe are the different skills. Whoa, losing stuff. Different skills for the various Mage Knights as they level up. And that's going to be more of that right there. This over here. I'm trying to remember what these are. Not 100% positive on these, but we'll figure that out. Put the lid back on that. Okay. Let's see what else is going on in here. Here are the terrain tiles. And I really like the artwork in here. You got a ruin, and I believe that's a mine, mage tower, rampaging draconum. And these, the gold ones are the core tiles, which you're going to find cities in, the ones with the gold backs. So you see the blue city and all that stuff. And then I believe the green tiles are countryside, which you're not going to find any cities, but you will find keeps and settlements and stuff like that. Monasteries, all kinds of good stuff. And I really just like the artwork. I mean, I just feel like it really, is this the start tile? Here's the start tile right here, that every game you'll start either the B side or the A side. That's mainly determined by how many players you've got. So, and that's maybe one of my favorite locations as far as how it looks. The Mana Glade, I think is what that's called. All right, here we go with some cards. And these, the silver and gold are different unit types. I believe elite and common is what they're called, something like that. And you can see you got things like fire golems and ice golems and fire mages and autumn guardians and foresters, Utum swordsmen maybe, illusionists, savage monks. These are going to be the tactics cards. And let me say, as far as the cards themselves go, the quality of the cards, let's see. Yeah, they, I like the thickness a lot. I think these are, well, I don't know. Everybody knows that I'm very picky about my cards. As far as I grew up playing, you know, with all the bicycle decks of cards, and I don't know, if I remember from when I was a kid, they always seemed like they were a little bit thicker than what you see now in games. These do feel thicker than most of the cards that you're going to get in games these days. Feel like they might stand up a little bit better. A very smooth finish to them. I'll still be sleeving them though. Here we go. Looks like we've got some city cards here. 4 different cities. Or how many? 4? 4. Yeah, looks like it. And they, oh, okay. Here are your different Mage Knights: Arithia, Goldix, Norowas, and Tovak. And down here is where you keep any mana crystals you've gained during the game. The achievement scoring track for scoring at the end of the game, getting extra fame for what you've done. Again, a reference card for move costs. And here's one of the best parts of the game. With as many rules as there are in there, they then went ahead and stuck them on these quick reference cards that have everything you need to know. If you find a monastery, well, you can recruit there, you can heal there, you can train there, you can burn it down. And it's got some symbology over here that you probably going to need to look in the book for what to do with those initially, but when you get to the point where you understand this symbology, then it's not going to be a problem. You can just look at that and you know exactly what to do. Again, with the keep. When revealed, you do this. If it's an unconquered, keep this. Other players keeps that. Your keep this. And so it just tells you spawning grounds, tomb, all these different things. You know, it's got stuff on the back as well for the other ones. Dungeon, monster den. So they really make it as easy as possible for you to keep track of all these different rules. And then these cards right here explain all the different powers that or skills when you level up that you can get. Here's a big deck of cards here. These, okay, we're going to get, these are the skill cards. Now, I do plan, like I said, I'm going to do a full series on Mage Knight, which will include a card close-up. So we'll get a good look at all these cards later, but right now you can see these belong to a specific Mage Knight, I believe. I could be wrong about that. Looks like it, though. Could be their starting cards. But all these cards are going to go into your deed deck. That's why they have all the same backing. I mean, and just look at the artwork here. This is just some great artwork. Here, these are spell cards here. Not a whole lot of artwork on the spell cards, which is one thing that I wish they did have. But as you can see, you have a minor version of the spell and then a major version or a more powerful version. And so it kind of is taken up with a lot of text. But here are your wound cards. Ton of wound cards. Hopefully you don't use all those because that'd be a problem. Let's look at the rest of these real quick. Firebolt, Pathfinding. I mean, this artwork is just fantastic. I can already tell you that from an aesthetics point of view, this game's going to get high marks when the review comes around. Different artifacts you can get here. Book of Wisdom. So that's pretty much it. And these duplicates are going to be for a lot of the cards you start with, you know, because there is a deck building aspect of this game, are the same no matter who you are, no matter which Mage Knight you choose. And then as you go along, that obviously starts getting more and more customized. So there you have it. That's everything that comes in Mage Knight. So there you go. Everything that comes in the Mage Knight, the board game box. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. You can find me on Twitter at boredonlineboardoffline. I'm on BGG. We do have a guild on BGG. Find the link for that in the description below. I'm on Board Game Blender every other week or so. And until next time, if you're bored online, board offline.